Hello YouTube, my name is Monica Smith and I want to welcome you back to my channel, Creative Moments. But before we get started on writing tip number 5, I want you to look down below, and hit that red subscribe button and that little bell as well so that you will be notified each and every time I upload a video. Okay, so writing tip number 5. Let's hop right into it. When should I write my book? There's no easy answer for that. You can start writing your book today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. You should start writing your story when your story starts talking to you. And no time sooner. I mean, even if you have an inkling of an idea of something that's floating around in your mind, you know, like little butterflies, you should write that book, or you should begin to write that book. Even if you're just journaling, I know I'm not saying that right, country grammar. So even if you're just journaling and you're scribbling down an idea here and there, or whatever the case may be, start writing as soon as it hits your mind. I remember when I started to write this new book that I'm working on, Queen of Southern Hospitality. I was asleep and I woke up out of my sleep. It was like, oh my God, why is this chick haunting me? And I always keep a notepad and a pencil ink pen beside my bed. So I'm sorry guys, my allergies are killing me. I keep a notepad and an ink pen beside my bed, and it was an idea about a picture of someone I seen on Facebook, and she was a lighter skinned black woman. She had a bald head and these beautiful green eyes, but she was haunting my dream. I mean, when I say that this chick was all over it, she was the total focus of my dream. So I woke up, I started jotting down what was in my mind at that time. So it wasn't that I set up a time to say, okay, I'm gonna start working on this book this time, I'm gonna start working on this novel at this time. It was like that. You know, I woke up and I had this image. And as I was remembering this image, I was remembering what I saw. So this woman was extremely beautiful to me. And even though I'm a fan of red long hair, I love a woman with red long hair. She was bald. She had this, what would you call it? It's this, it was just like a stoic type face. It was no expressions at all. She was kind of cold, kind of distant in this dream. And I was like, okay, I've seen this chick on Facebook, so I know who she was. So after the first night, I wake up and I'm jotting down what I remember. The second night, this same woman is in my dream. It's like she was tap dancing on me, talking about, Monica, you're gonna write about me. Monica, you're gonna write about me. I'm like, what the hell? So I get up, I'm jotting down more stuff, because then by this time she's talking to a second person in my dream, and I knew who this second person was. So I had to write down the second person. So by the third night that I had this dream about these two chicks, I was like, you know what? I get it. It was meant for me to write this book. So I get up the next morning, I'm instant messaging both people because the funny part is they are both big fans of my work. So I instant message these people and I'm like, hey, no, I didn't instant message. I take it back, I'm lying. I wrote a Facebook post and I wrote her name, and her name in the book is Tony. Her name on Facebook is Tony, but I got her permission first. So I wrote this Facebook post and I'm like, Tony the Bald Barbie, stop hunting or haunting my dreams. I see you. So I started talking back and forth with her on Messenger. I started talking back and forth with Huanna on Messenger, and I'm like, you two ladies are in my dream. This is what I see. This is what I want to write. Is it okay? You know, this is how I portray you in this dream, and I'm sorry you're in love with Lucifer, or not so much as in love with Lucifer, but you're a partner in a relationship with Lucifer, which a lot of people, and I respect that fact, do not want to be associated with the devil. I don't want to be associated with the devil. But she was like, it's just a story, go ahead and write it. So there was no set time or date that I sat down to say, I'm going to start writing this book, and I'm going to start writing this book about this particular subject and this particular person on this particular day at this particular time. You write when it comes to you. And if you don't write the whole story, which I doubt it that anybody can write the whole story when it comes to them. Maybe there are some people that can do that, I'm not for sure. But if you can't write the whole story, start writing down the pieces that are coming to you. My publisher once told me that work on the stories that are talking to you. And at that particular time, this story wasn't talking to me. This damn story was yelling. I mean, screaming at the top of its lungs, write me. So that's exactly what I started to do, is I started to write. So to answer this question, there's no certain time that you need to start a book. There's no certain time that you need to finish a book. There's no certain time that you need to work on a book. It's just, to me, and again, these are my personal experiences. This is what I've learned since I became an author. It's just, whenever it comes to you, write it. Whenever it starts talking to you, write it. Whenever you get little hints and glimpses, write it. Even while I'm at work and I'm taking care of patients, if something is in my head, I go back to my office. Once I'm done taking care of my patients, I go back to my office, I write it down. When I come home, I write it. Or I find out where it's supposed to go in my book. It might not go in my book right then and right there, but then I have my little notes, and I will write it down on my notes. This is what I see. This is what I think should happen. And then as I'm free writing my novel, my book, I'm also making room, or trying to figure out where this scene is going to fit in at. So, like I said, that's not an easy question to answer. We are all different beings and beasts and all this other good stuff. So there's no set time, place that you need to write your book. You just need to write your book. As far as specific times, maybe you want to set some time aside when you get off from work, or when you get the kids out the door for school, whenever you have peace and quiet, time to think, time to analyze, then that will be a good idea. For me, it's sporadic, because I might come home from work today and nothing is talking to me. I don't feel like writing anything. I'm not going to write anything. I'm going to go in my room, turn on my TV, lay in my bed and watch TV. So, but I was always told that you should write something every day. It doesn't matter what time of the day, just write something every day. Again, there is no set time to write your book. There is no set time to publish your book. I figured out in the beginning that once you start putting time constraints on the work that you're doing, then your work is not going to be the best work. It's just going to be, excuse my French, bullshit. You're going to be bullshitting your work. You're not giving your reader the best author that they deserve, because they're paying their money for your work. So you need to be appreciative of those readers and of those other authors. So At least give them a good story. And you can't give them a good story if you're rushing through your work. So take your time and space it out. Don't get overworked. Don't put time constraints on yourself, and let your energy flow. Because as you letting it flow, they're going to get the best part of you, the creative part of you, the part of you that's going to keep them coming back for the next book and the next book and the next book and the next book. So again, these are my personal opinions. This is how I feel, and there's no real certain time frame to write your book. As long as you're writing, you'll be fine. So until next time. Oh, before we do that, if you have any questions, comments, you need to know something, whatever the case may be, down below. Let's talk about it. And don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to like this video. And until next time, you have a blessed day.